me begin with a truth that has stood the test of time. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. These are the immortal words of Napoleon Hill, and they carry within them the wisdom that separates the defeated from the victorious. If you've ever faced a setback, whether in business, relationships, finances, or personal goals, this message is for you. Because defeat is never the end. Defeat is not failure until you accept it as such. Too many people confuse defeat with failure. They try once, stumble, and then stop. They hear a no, get rejected, lose a job, or watch their plans crumble, and they begin to believe that's it. But here's what Hill teaches us. Defeat is only temporary. It is a condition, a test, a challenge placed on the path to test your faith, your desire, and your persistence. Thomas Edison tried over 10,000 times before perfecting the electric light bulb. Hill reminds us that Edison didn't see those attempts as failures, but as discoveries. Discoveries of what didn't work, which eventually led him to what did. Defeat was a necessary companion in Edison's journey toward success. Let's take a moment to understand this more deeply. Defeat is not a signal to quit. It is a signal to learn, to adapt, to grow. It's the universe asking you, how bad do you want it? Because anything truly worth achieving will test you. That test will come in the form of defeat. And those who pass that test are the ones who refuse to accept it as failure. If you found this message powerful so far, I invite you, right now, to subscribe to this channel and tap the notification bell so you never miss another lesson that can transform your thinking and fuel your dreams. This is your space to grow stronger with every message. Now back to the heart of this message. How can you reframe defeat so that it works in your favor? First, you must begin with a burning desire. Napoleon Hill didn't call it casual interest. He called it burning desire, a white-hot, relentless drive to achieve your goal no matter what. Desire is what keeps you moving when the road gets dark. It's what makes defeat look like a detour instead of a dead end. Second, you must develop unwavering faith. Faith in yourself. Faith in your purpose. Faith that what you seek is already yours as long as you refuse to quit. Hill's philosophy makes it clear. Faith is the only antidote to fear. Defeat is often just fear in disguise, fear that maybe we're not good enough, smart enough, strong enough. But when you have faith, you silence that voice. You say, this is temporary. I'm moving forward. And third, recognize the hidden opportunity. Hill repeatedly emphasized that inside every misfortune lies a hidden fortune if only we look for it. Let's say you were passed over for a promotion. At first, it stings. But maybe that nudge is what sparks your decision to start your own business. Or perhaps you faced a painful breakup only to later discover a deeper, more authentic relationship. Defeat makes us look again, and in doing so, we often find something better than what we first imagined. We live in an era of rapid change. 2025 is a time of digital economies and entrepreneurship at every level. But with speed comes disruption. People are losing jobs, industries are evolving, and the rules of success are being rewritten daily. Defeat is everywhere. But the ones who will thrive are those who reframe that defeat and ask, what is this trying to teach me? How can I grow from this? What do I do next? So let me leave you with this thought. Defeat is not the enemy. It is the invitation. It is the storm that tries to blow out your fire. But if your desire is strong, if your faith is unshakable, and if your attitude is positive, you'll burn brighter because of it. Napoleon Hill believed in the power of the mind. Above all else, he knew that thoughts become things, and that the most powerful thought of all is the one that says, I will rise again. Say that to yourself now. Whisper it, shout it, write it on your mirror, whatever it takes to believe it. Because defeat is not failure. Not now, not ever, unless you accept it. And I know you won't. There's a fire that lives within every person a flame that starts as a simple spark. For some, it fades when the winds of life blow hard. For others, that same wind fuels the fire until it becomes an unstoppable force. What makes the difference? Two things: desire and faith. Napoleon Hill, the legendary author of Think and Grow Rich, taught us that all success begins with a burning desire, not a wish, not a dream. A burning desire, a deep, consuming need to achieve your goal. And when that desire is backed by unshakable faith, no setback can stop you. Not permanently. Not ever. We've all been knocked down. We've all heard no, been disappointed, felt like the world was stacked against us. But here's the truth Hill uncovered after studying 25,000 men and women. Setbacks don't destroy people, doubt does. Desire without faith is just wishful thinking. But when you combine both, you become unstoppable. Think of any great comeback story. Maybe it's your own, or someone you admire. Every one of them started the same way, with someone who had a dream, got knocked down, and still believed. That belief faith is the bridge between defeat and triumph. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who lost everything. His business collapsed. He faced bankruptcy. His ideas were mocked. Friends turned their backs on him. But he had something most people don't, an inner vision he refused to let go of. He said to himself, "I see the outcome clearly. I feel it. I believe it. I will not stop." That man was Henry Ford. Ford wasn't just building a car, he was building a revolution. And he used the same principles Napoleon Hill would later share with the world. Desire, faith, persistence. Ford had them all. He didn't allow setbacks to stop him. He turned them into stepping stones. So here's the question I ask you today. What would you dare to do if you had absolute faith in yourself? If this message is striking a chord in your soul, then don't wait, subscribe to our channel and tap the bell icon, because the tools and inspiration that helped Ford, Hill, and so many others rise again are now here for you. Let's return to those two forces, desire and faith. Desire is the engine. It drives you. It pulls you out of bed. It's the image of the life you want to create. And faith? Faith is the fuel. It's what keeps the engine running when the road gets rough. Faith is knowing you'll get there, even when the destination feels far away. In Think and Grow Rich, Hill said, "Faith is the head chemist of the mind." What a powerful image. Your mind is a laboratory, and faith decides what kind of results you get. When you believe in success, you attract ideas, people, and opportunities that align with that belief. But when doubt enters your mental chemistry, it contaminates everything. That's why setbacks are so dangerous, not because of what they take from you, but because of what they try to plant in your mind: fear, hopelessness, hesitation. But if your faith is stronger than your fear, nothing can hold you back. In today's world, this fast-paced, AI-driven gig economy, the rules of success are changing daily. One day you're in demand. The next you're outdated. Many people are panicking. But those who win in 2025 and beyond won't be the ones with the fanciest degrees or the biggest resumes. They'll be the ones with the deepest faith in themselves and the desire to evolve, to learn, to persist. So how do you build this kind of faith? You start by feeding your mind every day. Read uplifting books. Listen to powerful mentors. Speak positively to yourself. Visualize the life you want with emotion and clarity. Napoleon Hill wasn't teaching magic, he was teaching mental conditioning. Repetition of belief is what turns faith into a habit. And once faith becomes a habit, setbacks become irrelevant. You'll fall, but you'll rise faster. You'll hear no, but you'll keep knocking. You'll fail, but you'll know it's temporary. Because desire tells you what you want, and faith tells you that it's possible. Together, they create the greatest comeback formula ever known. The world may push you down, but if your desire is strong enough and your faith is deep enough, nothing can keep you there. So believe, my friend. Desire what you want like your life depends on it, and then walk in faith as if it's already yours, because it is. And when you look back on this moment years from now, you'll say, that was the day I stopped accepting setbacks and started building my comeback. The fire is in you. Now let it burn. There's one force that separates the dreamers from the doers, the starters from the finishers, and the almost successful from the legends. It's not talent. It's not timing. It's not luck. It's persistence. Napoleon Hill said it best. Persistence is to the character of man as carbon is to steel. It's what gives your dreams strength. It's the power that refuses to quit when the world says it's over. It is the bridge, the only bridge that connects failure to success. I want to speak to you today not as a speaker, not as a voice behind a screen, but as someone who knows what it's like to try and fail ... and try again. And I'm here to remind you, you haven't failed until you stop trying. Every person you admire, every company you follow, every story that inspires you was built on one common foundation: persistence. Let's go back to a young man who had very little education, no money and no connections. But he had one thing: he refused to give up. He spent 20 years studying the most successful people in America. He interviewed Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Andrew Carnegie, and dozens more. The result was one of the most powerful books ever written. Think and Grow Rich. That man was Napoleon Hill. And if he had given up when publishers rejected him, if he had quit when he faced doubt and criticism, we would have lost the very philosophy that has transformed millions of lives. And yet, here's what most people miss. Hill's entire message is built on the idea of persistence. Every principled desire, faith, organized planning, specialized knowledge, decision, they all collapse without persistence. It is the glue that holds success together. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been right on the edge of a breakthrough, but gave up too soon? In Think and Grow Rich, Hill tells the story of a man named R.U. Darby. Darby invested in a gold mine. After months of digging, he found nothing. Discouraged, he sold the equipment to a junk dealer and walked away. That junk dealer? He hired an engineer who discovered that Darby was just 3 feet from gold. 3 feet. If he had persisted just a little longer, his life would have changed forever. That's not just a story, it's a mirror. How many of us stop digging when we're 3 feet from gold? If you're finding value in these truths, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a spark that can fuel your fire. This is more than motivation, it's a movement. Now let's break this down. Why do people give up? Because persistence is not comfortable. It doesn't always offer quick results. It asks you to endure rejection, failure, boredom, and doubt. It demands that you keep going when everything in you screams, turn back. But here's what Hill discovered. The majority of people are ready to throw their aims and purposes overboard and give up at the first sign of opposition or misfortune. The few who persist are the ones who succeed. In the world of 2025, persistence is more vital than ever. Technology is evolving daily. Jobs are changing. AI is rewriting the rules of every industry. Opportunities come fast and disappear even faster. If you don't persist, you'll be replaced. But if you do persist, if you keep learning, keep showing up, keep refining your craft, you become irreplaceable. So how do you build persistence? Start small. Set goals. Create habits. Refuse to let a single day go by without action toward your dream. Hill laid it out clearly in the law of success. Create a definite purpose, a definite plan, and a definite mindset. Then pursue it with relentless determination. Here's a practical method straight from Hill's principles. Write down your major goal. List the obstacles standing in your way. Write a plan to overcome each one. Read it aloud twice a day with belief. Act on it daily, no matter how small the step. Do this for 30 days, and you'll be shocked at the changes. But above all, don't stop. You're going to face hard days. You're going to hear no. You're going to feel like the world isn't listening. But keep showing up. Keep swinging. Keep pushing, because every no is one step closer to yes. Every fall is one step closer to flight. Every delay is preparing you for a destiny greater than you can imagine. Napoleon Hill said, "There is no substitute for persistence. It cannot be supplanted by any other quality. Not brilliance, not charm, not genius. Just the refusal to give up. So stand tall today. Reignite your desire. Rekindle your faith and take another step. Even if it's small. Even if it's slow. Because on the other side of persistence is everything you've ever wanted. Asterisk when the storms of life come, and they always do. What keeps you standing? What keeps your fire burning when everything around you seems to go dark? Napoleon Hill gave us the answer in two of the most powerful forces ever discovered by man: positive mental attitude and the mastermind. In his timeless work, Think and Grow Rich, Hill wrote, "A positive mind finds a way it can be done. A negative mind looks for all the ways it can't." And in his Law of Success, he introduced a secret known only to the most accomplished minds in history: the mastermind principle. These are not just nice ideas. They are the fuel that powers you through the dark seasons. They are the light in uncertainty. They are your wings in times of struggle. Let's start with your mind. Positive thinking is more than just being hopeful. It's a decision of discipline. It's the conscious choice to look at challenges and say, "This is not the end. This is the beginning of something better." It doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing the interpretation of reality that empowers you, not weakens you. During the Great Depression, when poverty, fear, and hopelessness gripped millions, Napoleon Hill taught people to think their way into abundance. Not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. People with no jobs, no homes, and no clear future were taught to harness positive mental attitude, and they began to build, invent, and succeed in the face of crushing odds. This isn't magic. It's mindset. Every negative thought is like a brick in a wall that blocks your future. Every positive thought is a chisel that breaks through. If you want to thrive in dark times, especially in our modern age of rapid change, automation, and uncertainty, then your most powerful weapon is your attitude. But here's the truth. Even the strongest minds get tired. That's where the mastermind comes in. Hill defined a mastermind as the coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. In other words, when great minds connect with great hearts and a shared mission, the result is unstoppable. Think about it. No great leader, inventor, or builder did it alone. Ford had Edison. Carnegie had Schwab. Even Napoleon Hill himself had Andrew Carnegie as his guiding force. Who do you have in your corner? Let me be clear. Dark times will come. You will face rejection, loss, confusion, maybe even despair. That's not a possibility. It's a certainty. But if you face that storm with the right mindset and the right people at your side, you'll not only survive it, you'll rise through it. Now, if you're feeling the power of this message, if it speaks to something deep in you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and tap the bell icon so you don't miss a single lesson that could reshape your future. This is your mastermind in motion. Let's bring this into the modern world. In 2025, technology is moving faster than most people can follow. AI is changing industries. The gig economy is exploding. Traditional jobs are fading. The rules of success are being rewritten in real time. And you have two choices. You can react with fear or respond with positive thinking and collaboration. The people who win today aren't the smartest. They're the most mentally prepared and strategically connected. They see setbacks as setups. They form mastermind groups, brainstorm ideas, create partnerships, share networks, hold each other accountable. That's what you need. Right now, today, find one person, just one, who shares your vision. Meet weekly. Talk openly. Encourage one another. Then add another. Build your circle. Feed each other's faith. Cut out the negativity. And when doubt creeps in, let their belief carry you until your own belief returns. And just as important, protect your thoughts. Feed your mind with what builds you. Books, mentors, affirmations, stories of resilience. Every day. The greatest achievers in history never left their mindset to chance. Neither should you. Let me remind you of one of Hill's most empowering truths. Our only limitations are those we set up in our own minds. In times of darkness, you need a mind that burns with vision. You need people around you who refuse to let you quit. You need the fire of positive thinking and the strength of a united purpose. Because no storm lasts forever. And when the skies clear, those who kept their minds right and their teams tight will emerge not broken, but built. That can be you. So today, make a decision to think higher, to surround yourself better, and to never face dark times alone. Again. Because with the right mindset and the right mastermind, even the darkest night becomes the birthplace of your greatest dawn. We are living in the most disruptive, unpredictable, and opportunity-rich time in human history. The rules of success have changed. The economy is shifting. Technology is evolving faster than we can imagine. In this kind of world, defeat can come faster than ever, but so can victory. What makes the difference? It's how you choose to frame your defeat. Napoleon Hill once said, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." That truth is even more relevant today, in 2025, than it was 100 years ago. Because defeat today doesn't just show up in bankruptcy courts or rejection letters. It comes in the form of disappearing jobs due to AI. It comes through failed startups, lost clients, canceled contracts, and social media criticism. It comes when your skills become obsolete overnight. But guess what? It's not defeat until you accept it as final. Hill didn't write Think and Grow Rich for a perfect world. He wrote it in the middle of economic collapse. And yet, he discovered that people who succeeded were the ones who refrained their losses. They looked at every fall as part of the climb. They didn't say, "I failed." They said, "I'm learning." They didn't cry, "Why me?" They asked, "What now?" And that mindset changed everything. Now, in 2025, we must adopt that same resilience, but with a modern edge. If you've been affected by job automation, don't see it as the end of your career. See it as the beginning of reinvention. If your online business failed, don't see it as proof you can't succeed. See it as proof that you had the courage to try. If your brand isn't growing as fast as you hoped, don't give up. Rebuild with smarter tools and clearer purpose. You see, reframing isn't just positive thinking. It's a skill, a muscle. It's the discipline of controlling the meaning you give to every event in your life. And Napoleon Hill gave us the tools to train that muscle. Let's look at some of them. Asterisk, the first is definiteness of purpose. Hill wrote that no success is possible without a clear, specific goal. If you feel defeated today, maybe it's because you've lost sight of the why. Reconnect with it. Reframe the setback as a recalibration, not a failure. A rocket doesn't travel in a straight line. It adjusts thousands of times on its way to the moon. So will you. Second is faith. And I'm not just talking about spiritual. Faith, I'm talking about belief in yourself, in your mission, in your potential. Faith is the antidote to defeat. When you believe in your vision with absolute certainty, no failure has the power to define you. And third, persistence. Hill devoted an entire chapter to this because he knew most people give up too soon. They experience defeat and assume it's a sign to quit. But defeat is often life's way of asking, how badly do you want it? If you're still with me and this message is lifting your spirit, then take one quick step right now. Subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and keep surrounding yourself with voices that fuel your inner fire. This community is your mastermind, your support in both progress and pressure. Now, let's connect this mindset to today's reality. We live in the age of AI, where machines can write, design, and solve problems. The temptation is to feel inferior, even defeated by these advancements. But remember this, machines can replicate logic, they can't replicate vision. They can process data they can't dream. Your greatest asset is your human ability to adapt, to feel, to create, and to persist. The gig economy is booming, but it's also unstable. Many people feel defeated by the lack of consistency. But those who reframe this model as freedom, flexibility, and a launch pad for innovation, they're thriving. Digital. Branding is tougher than ever. Algorithms change. Followers come and go. You feel like your message is being buried. But again, reframe it. This is your chance to double down on clarity, connection, and authenticity. Your audience isn't lost. It's waiting for you to speak with renewed power. Napoleon Hill taught, "Use that our greatest victories are born from the ashes of our toughest defeats." So don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What am I becoming because of this?" You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not done. You are being shaped. And when you learn to reframe defeat in this modern world not as a signal to retreat, but as a sign to rise higher, you unlock a power that nothing and no one can take from you. So today, wherever you are, whether you're facing a personal setback, a professional pivot, or a storm of self-doubt, choose this: to reframe the story, to rise again, to remember that defeat is temporary, but the victory of persistence lasts forever. Because in this new era, your mindset is your greatest technology. Use it wisely, and nothing will be impossible.